that's when we unleashed it. He started calling everybody around it, and that one deal led to 5 more deals.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was like, I'm going to go do this. And then he started opening up these opportunities because he was talking to people every single day. So instead of sitting back and going, I got a $2.4 million house, that was a teacher wanting to sell their beach house, a coworker, Sphere. He's like, I'll expand my net.
Hell yeah.
Anybody can do that.
Hello, everyone. This is Jeff Adamson. I hope you're enjoying all the podcasts. We sure are. You get to listen in to some interesting conversations with my top agents, how they got there, and what kind of a life they're leading as a result of it. You'll be inspired by them. Hope you enjoy this interview with our new productivity coaching and launch coaching program with Mark Simpson and James Rao.
You know, it wasn't long ago that I walked into our training room and I observed somebody living inside their passion. And that person that I saw was leading our agents, teaching our agents, and doing so in such a way that you could just observe the passion. And what I've learned is one of the best ways to know if somebody's leaning into their passion is are people leaning back into that passion. And that's what I saw as a classroom leaning in, agents taking notes. And I ran out of that office. I picked up the phone and I called Jeff and I said, Jeff, I found the next team member. And that person is James Rao. James, I'm glad that you're here.
Glad to be here.
Launch coach here with Real Impact Coaching, agent at Keller Williams. What I observed that day was I think it's a godsend. And it was a beautiful work of passion living inside that zone.
Absolutely.
Why do you do what you do?
It's what gives me more satisfaction than anything I've ever done. And I've done a lot of jobs. I've been working since I was 14. I've done just about everything. And if anything has ever fulfilled me and made me want to get up to go to work, it's helping people and teaching.
Mm. You know, you came into the real estate career from teaching.
Yes.
And how did that happen?
Let's see. So I was in college for 5 years. And at that point, my wife and I had already been together for, well, let's see, I graduated in 16. So we were together 9 years at that point already. Mm-hmm. And I had the focus on having children for a very long time. I've wanted to be, that's my dream job. To be clear, being a dad's my dream job. Yeah. And I've wanted it for forever, but I wanted to do it right. I wanted to make sure that my son had the upbringing that he deserved. And 3 years of teaching and finding out that I was walking away with basically like, I think it was $28,000 after taxes every year. And I wasn't going to get a raise for 7 years.
Wow.
And I said, I got to make a choice. Am I going to do what I went to school for 5 years, or am I going to, do something that's going to put enough money in the bank that I can have the kids I want to have? And he's a year and a half now.
A year and a half. You think you'll have more?
I don't know. We're debating it. You know how that conversation
There we go.
goes.
I get that.
It took us 15 years almost to have our first one.
Yeah.
So God knows how long it'll take to have the second one.
And so you said, all right, I love what I do and I need to provide more for my family. Mm-hmm. How did the idea of real estate happen?
Well, once again, it's a family affair, right? My father-in-law is a builder. His wife is the agent that sells his houses. And then my brother-in-law got into real estate as well. And he did very, very well, started at Keller Williams. He's now running an exit realty brokerage. And so my wife was like, hey, they're doing great at this. I think you'd be awesome at it. And once again, limiting beliefs came in. And I said, I don't know. I don't think that's for me. I just like to teach. I don't want to be calling people all the time. And but she said, just try it, just see what happens. And got my license over fall break while I was teaching. And that spring, I was really kind of debating, am I going to do both? What am I going to do? And I said, I've really got to commit to this. I've got to believe in it. I've got to pull the safety net. Because if I have teaching as a safety net, I'm just going to go back to that because it feels safe.
Yeah.
And the day after spring break, I went back to see my principal, and he had nothing but more bad news for me for how it is being a teacher. And I said, I think thank you. Thank you for giving me this bad news, because I've got some bad news for you too. I'm not going to be back next year.
Yeah. I'm
going to pursue real estate. And I'll never forget being in his office like the week before I left and him going, are you sure? this real estate game, it's pretty hard, but when you're ready to come back, just let me know. We haven't spoken since.
Well, wow. Hang on a second. I'm hearing something, which is number one, I'm removing any other option
Absolutely.
but that. And somebody once pointed out that decide, the second part of decide is side, which is kill. You killed off going back to teaching. And you made that decision. And in the face of, I'm sure he wanted to help you. He tried to protect you by saying, you're going to fail. You've got a safety net. And you killed off that as an option.
Absolutely.
You came to Keller Williams and launched your career. What was that like?
Obviously scary at first.
Yeah.
But being education based, I leaned into people helping me become better. So I got a mentor, Marsha Monty, fantastic. I credit so much to her for my success. But with her help, had a very decent first year, and then capped my second year, and then had the opportunities to do other things within the business from there. And it's just, kind of come naturally.
Yeah. And it probably comes back to you said that you like helping people. That's really been your heart in real estate.
Oh, absolutely. And I think, once again, there's a limiting belief. I went into it thinking I was going to bother people. And now I know what I do for a living, and that is helping the people around me become wealthy or helping them find a home, which is such an integral part of their whole life.
Right.
And so those are the two things I do. I'm either helping you make money to better you, or I'm finding the perfect home for you and your family to live in.
And I think a lot of agents don't really tap into that reality that this is someone's home. It's where tears are shed, laughter happens, the time around the kitchen table, the meals that are served, the lives that are changed in home. This is, not to get all ethereal, but in many ways, it's a sacred process of saying, I'm going to help you not buy just a house. That's investors.
Yeah.
I'm going to help you find home.
Absolutely.
That's a big thing.
It is. 100%. But I love that. I love seeing clients, light up when they find the house that's perfect for them. Or I love, presenting that offer to my client that they needed to get what they needed out of their home. I love those moments. I always joke that whenever I go show houses with clients, there's always that moment where I know this is the one they're going to make an offer on. Yeah. Because within a couple seconds, they've walked in and they've already decided. And I love that moment of, this is where I want my family to live.
Yeah, the house finds them.
Yeah, it does. Absolutely.
Kind of a Harry Potter school thing,
Well, I'm telling you, it's funny, as I always tell my clients, like, we'll have those moments where a deal falls through or a house they don't get accepted on their offer, and they're having that, oh my gosh moment, that was it. And I've always say, if you trust me, I have never had an experience where they regretted getting the house they got because they lost one before it. Yeah. Every time it's been, oh my gosh, that happened for a reason. This is the house that was for me, and we never would have found it if we'd gotten under contract with the other one. I love that.
So you're launching your business, you're getting going, you're a learning-based person. Oh, yeah. And one of the things that you started doing pretty early is not just learning for learning's sake, but learning for giving's sake. Sure. And you started teaching. Yeah. You taught some of our Ignites, you taught some classes. What was that like for you?
It was awesome. I loved it. I just always have had like an addiction to that moment of seeing somebody get the help they needed.
Yeah, the light bulb comes
Absolutely,
on.
That moment. And I mean, it just started with, helping new agents in the office, sitting in the bullpen. And if somebody had a question, go, oh, here, let me help you. And then I got the opportunities to teach a few classes on things that I got good at. I've always had a mind where if I see a system, it's like, oh my gosh, I need to know how every single part of this works. Like you could ask my parents, like I remember one time we went to our friend's house when I was a kid and I was like 4 years old. I completely dismantled their friend's treadmill. And they walked in the living room like, oh my God, what did you do? You ruined their treadmill. And I said, no, I can put it back together. Like 10 minutes I had it back together because I love systems. And so I think a lot of my early classes were just taking systems like PAR in Pensacola and being like, oh my gosh, everyone hates on this. how bad can it be? Let me play with every single button in here and see what it does. And then, got great at it and being like, hey, let me teach you all of this. Don't hate on it. Let me teach you how great the system actually is.
Yeah.
And so we had those early moments. And then I got to teach Ignite, which was exciting for me. I'd taken Ignite as an early agent. And I thought it was a really good opportunity to launch people into success.
Mm-hmm. And Ignite is designed as kind of an abbreviated boot camp over the course of, it can be taught over a month or 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. But the agent that goes through that, it's designed to write, it's like 7 pieces of business as a result of those efforts.
Sure.
And we've got that coming up. So you transitioned then and you started mentoring.
Absolutely.
And mentoring is really that process of taking alongside a person on a person-to-person basis and helping them as they need that help through transactions. What was that like for you?
Oh, it was so much fun. So it was a great way for me to kind of give back to what I thought helped me so much. I'd gotten so much from my mentor when I first started. And I thought, God, if I can just do that for a few people and impact their lives. I mean, I look at agents like Susie Mesa, where, she took Ignite with me, jumped in as a mentor or a mentee under me, and just see where Susie is today. I'm sitting next to her in our meeting earlier, just so proud and just so happy to see.
She's a neat lady.
Oh, great. Absolutely. But that was just a great way for me to make the connections I needed. Mm-hmm. I feel like the business side of real estate is great. I love the adrenaline. I love the excitement. I love the negotiating. But my favorite phone calls are always, the people that are like, hey, how can you help me with this? And I'm like, yes, absolutely. Here's how you do this. I'm excited to teach it to you.
Yeah. And so that excitement, that's what I observed that day. Mm-hmm. I saw that zone. Mm-hmm. And first thing I asked you, I pulled you into my office. I think it was a Thursday. You were wrapping up Ignite. And I said, if there was a way to impact more and have your fingerprints of impact on the lives of every new agent that comes through Keller Williams, would you be interested? Mm-hmm. And you said, yeah,
absolutely.
Let me go figure out a way.
Yeah, we made it happen.
And that evolved into this of the launch coach. What about that excites you? What's your philosophy, excitement? Take it.
I love that I have this opportunity to kind of put my fingerprints or my DNA on every agent that's coming into our brokerage. I love that I have a venue, I have an opportunity to give back to that many people.
Yeah.
Because mentoring was great, but you get 5 mentors or mentees under you and you're kind of like, well, I got to kind of hit the brakes here.
Yeah.
Or Ignite, doing it every few months was good. This is now saying, hey, we want you to impact everybody that walks through those stores.
Right.
We want everybody to be able to learn what you have and kind of learn how the systems of this business work to make you successful. I mean, what better job could I have than to have the opportunity to see literally, we're looking at over 100 agents a year,
right,
change their lives.
Let's do 200.
Please and thank you. Sign them up. Let's teach them.
So in that, I've always observed in my life that when you're faithful, when the amounts are small, doors open up to impact even more.
Oh yeah.
And this is that moment. And I'd like for you to take a moment to talk to that new agent that, they're in this initial launch phase, which is 0 to 3 transactions. Mm-hmm. They're wondering, do I have what it takes?
Oh yeah.
They've maybe have that friend or coworker that says, if that doesn't work out, what do you say to them?
You've got this. You have got this. Get rid of your limiting beliefs that are holding you back. There is no difference between you and any other agent that is just rocking in your office. So go to that office and find that agent that's your idol, so to speak. Who do I want to be? And you can become that person. There is no difference between you and them. They don't get more minutes in the day than you get. You both get 1,000 minutes to play with every day. It's a matter of learning how this industry works, learning how to acquire clients, and learning how to facilitate deals so they end up successful and closed. And if you can do that and you're using your time wisely, you're going to make it. It's just believe in yourself as much as I believe in you.
Well, you head up launch, which are those 0 to 3.
Mhm.
We work together in group format with that, but those are your folks.
Those are my
to speak.
kiddos, so to
They're your kiddos, and relaunch.
Mhm.
Relaunch is that person that it's been 90 days. They haven't taken a listing. They haven't had a closing. That means they've gone 3 months without a paycheck.
Yep.
Relaunch.
Yeah, so we're saying this isn't just for new agents. We want everybody to have that opportunity. So if you're having that moment where you're like, "Oh, those first few were pretty easy, but now I have no idea what to do. How can I make this sustainable? How can I make this consistent?" We'll get you there.
Yeah.
But we're going to look at your business, and we're going to look at how you've modeled it so far. If you've modeled it, hopefully at least we've gotten there, and say these are the pieces of the puzzle that are missing. I always like to compare it to tools. I always say, I'm going to teach you every tool and I'm going to put it in your toolbox. It's going to be up to you to take that tool out and use it. Now, if you pick that up and you go, "Oh, crud, I forgot how to use this,"
Yep.
come back to me. We'll teach you how to use it. But I just want to fill everybody's toolbox so that they can build the life that they've always wanted.
And here's the thing, and just kind of wrapping this up.
Mhm.
There's no shame in relaunching.
No.
But before COVID hit, I was in my peak health.
Yeah.
And I transitioned out of a position. My father was passing. I went through that transaction. And what happened is I fell off my game.
Mm-hmm.
And I gained back all those weights. Everybody laughs about the COVID 20. I think I had COVID 30. And I started saying, I got to get back going. And I knew everything. I used to coach people in fitness, and yet I could not coach myself.
Sure.
So recently, about a month ago, I hired my own fitness coach because it's like, I need somebody in my corner.
Mm-hmm.
And what I've been able to accomplish just in the last 30 days with the relaunch of my health, that's what we're talking about. Don't be embarrassed.
No, that's
Engage.
Yeah,
Let us help you get back on track.
I would be perplexed at the thought of this is something I should be embarrassed about. This is something that you should be proud of because you're taking control of your business. You're saying, I know I could be better, and I'm going to, get people in my corner that are going to make me better.
Yeah.
I mean, I being embarrassed to take launch or relaunch would be like being embarrassed to take bold, or be embarrassed to get your broker's license, or be embarrassed to take any course. We're only going to become better through education.
Yeah.
And that's what we're here to do, is make people better.
So we're here to make an impact, a real impact in your life. And James, I'm just super excited that you're on the team. We're locking arms. We've got transaction assistance. We've got mentors available as needed. We're ready to help you go and hit those goals and deliver on what it is that Keller Williams stands for, which is really creating that life by design and achieving those goals.
Hope you enjoyed the interview with Mark and James. Wow. We've never had anything this powerful in our market center. I hope you guys take advantage of it.